This video is sponsored by Blinkist. More from them in a bit. As many of you probably know, the Tropicana orange juice container looks like this, and it's looked like this for a long time, except for the few months in 2009 when it didn't. Inspired by the minimalism design trends of the late 2000s, Tropicana decided to change the look to this. It did not go well, and sales plummeted. This incident has been studied a lot, with many different people coming to many different conclusions on why Tropicana lost so much money by doing this. And one of my favorite suggestions is that the new box, it just didn't have an orange on it. Most orange juice containers do have an orange on the packaging, which makes sense, because, you know, it's orange juice. Tropicana made the bold decision to lose the orange, go with a glass of orange juice, which again kind of makes sense because it's orange juice. Might not seem like that big of a deal, but it was. Like, okay, everybody knows that orange juice isn't freshly squeezed from the vine. There's several thousand steps between that and it reaching the store shelf. But people like to be reminded that when they're having orange juice, that it's juice that comes from an orange, and not just juice that tastes like an orange. And that distinction is made with the inclusion of the orange on the box. Weird, I know, but that's how people think. The orange wasn't the only issue either. The new design is, you know, it's uninspired, it's sterile. The new logo is minimalistic, simplistic, but it's not like the old packaging was a work of art. Like, if you asked me to draw this from memory, this orange juice box that I have probably seen hundreds, if not thousands of times before, I couldn't do it. In fact, before I started making this video, I couldn't remember what color the Tropicana logo was, or if there was an orange on the box. In fact, I probably couldn't even tell you that I drink Tropicana or one of these other brands based on the name alone, because I just kind of look for the colors. The colors of the box. And other people do too. When Tropicana changed their packaging, it wasn't like there was a huge boycott against this redesign. People just forgot that it existed or thought that it disappeared because they didn't connect this to this. Today, I just want to talk about branding because I don't know why. But before I do, Blinkist allows you to quickly and easily understand the most important things from over 6,600 nonfiction books, summaries, and podcasts in just 15 minutes. Recently, for whatever reason, I can't stop thinking about the Roman Empire. And so when I saw this book about the fate of Rome by Kyle Harper, I got pretty excited. But see, when I read some books, I get kind of sleepy and I forget things. Luckily, Blinkist is here to quickly summarize all of this so I don't feel so dumb no more. I learned some things that I wouldn't have otherwise, like how Rome was significantly affected by the late antique Little Ice Age. I also learned that there was a late antique Little Ice Age. You want to read these summaries? Go ahead. Want to listen to the summaries? Go ahead. With the new Blinkist spaces, you can add, share, and recommend titles from the Blinkist library all in one place for a group of people to access. All members in the space can access all titles with or without a Blinkist premium subscription. So go and get 25% off a Blinkist annual premium subscription. Start your 7-day free trial by clicking the link in the description of this video. If you like learning, which I hope you do because knowledge is power, then go and get some power. Blinkist. Go into a store, you see two different trash cans from two different companies. They look the exact same. They're the exact same size, the exact same price, but one has this logo and one has this. Which one do you pick? I use a lot of duct tape. What kind of duct tape? Duct tape. Kraft Foods decided to switch things up with this a few years ago. The problem was that most people didn't really think about Kraft as a name. They thought of Kraft as sort of an image. This was Kraft. This was something else. They tried again to redo the logo in the same vein. It still didn't work. So they had to revert to something that looks similar to the original, but not quite. Color. Color and color theory is important. This looks good, this does not, and there are reasons for that. But the decision for a brand to associate itself with a specific color is usually not arbitrary. I mean, sometimes it is, but usually it's not. There are reasons why many logos are the exact color that they are. A green logo is supposed to evoke nature, sustainability, and health. Remember Tropicana? That logo is green, even though oranges are orange. The reason for this is because oranges are fruits. Fruits can be healthy, and they want to associate Tropicana orange juice as a healthy product. even though I think that's a bit debatable. Subway uses green for a very similar reason. Subway subs are not healthy. Subway is not this is not health food, but that's an image they really try to cultivate. Blue. A disproportionate amount of the Fortune 500 company logos are blue. Are they Fortune 500 companies because their logo is blue? Probably not. But blue is a popular color because it's calm, it's cool, it's not very energetic. And I guess that makes people think of reliability, professionalism. Blue is often used in finance, tech, and other big money-making company logos for this reason. Yellow is just happy. See a yellow logo? That is probably the intention of the marketing team. Try to make you feel happy. Positivity, happiness. McDonald's. Yellow is just a color that stands out. It's a great color to contrast with black. And sometimes all of this emotion stuff, you can just throw it out the window. Like Best Buy's old logo was just a shopping tag. And it was yellow because shopping tags are often yellow. People say orange is supposed to be associated with youth. Hey, we're not too serious over here. Don't take us too seriously. We're just orange. I don't know how I feel about that. Again, it's like Home Depot's orange, but that's just because it's like a warning construction colors sort of thing. The way I see it is that orange is just like yellow, but you know, the companies want to stick out more on a white background. While I'm actually a huge fan of the color of this purple color, I don't really love the use of purple on corporate logos. It's too dark and it doesn't contrast with anything with the exception of orange. Purple, you know, historically is a color that was difficult to get for dyes. That's why it was used as like royal robes in Rome. So they try to associate purple as a luxury. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't really think of luxury when I look at Taco Bell. Red is often seen as aggressive. Your eyes react, you know, strongly when they see red. It's exciting, it's energy, but also almost every Japanese company has a red text logo. And that's not because red is aggressive, it's just red stands out. It's also important to Japanese culture for reasons, and having basic Latin letters was important in a post-war time for brands. So it's not always this emotion stuff, sometimes it's just certain colors look good. There are several conflicting stories that tell the origin of why the Xbox logo was green. Some say that the designer only had a green crayon in their box or something. That was all they had left. Some say it was because Nintendo was red and Sega was blue and PlayStation was kind of going to blue, so green would stand out. Dr. Pepper is burgundy. Now, while that isn't usually an ideal color to stand out, nor does it evoke much emotion, that's the color of the drink. Many people know that Mountain Dew is not actually green, it's yellow, but the bottle and branding are green, so people don't think about that fact. Brown doesn't seem like it should be an ideal color for any drink, but root beer tends to lean into that because it's root beer. This might seem unimportant, but it is important. For a company to try to change its color, it's a terrible idea. It's not gonna work. Take the Coca Cola red, you know, this famous red, and shift it just a few degrees on the color scale. This looks wrong. Here is it in blue, in orange, in green. All of these just look off. And a lot of brands have strong identities to color, and changing it feels wrong. Sometimes being colorless is a color choice. Apple used to have a lot of color in their logo, but not so much anymore. This wasn't just to come off as minimalistic, although that was probably a large part of the reason. It's also so the brand doesn't get bogged down with any real identity beyond being Apple. Renaming a company is a risky move. Like, look, many of the biggest corporations today were not known as the names that they are known by today. Back in the day. Back in 2018, it came as a shock to many when Dunkin' Donuts removed the donuts from its name. A lot of people saw the decision as some short-sighted attempt to stay trendy. Again, minimalism, but it actually worked. Donuts don't make a huge chunk of Dunkin's profits, and they've really wanted to be seen as more of a coffee company. And as the years have gone on, the decision proved to be a really good one. Other moves are just kind of weird and bizarre. Kentucky Fried Chicken changed the company's name to KFC, not because it was faster to say, but because the word fried was seen as too unhealthy, and they didn't want the customer associating their buckets of fried chicken as an unhealthy thing. Radio Shack, which I assume felt tired of being associated with radio, decided a few years back to try and rename itself to simply The Shack. Once again, huge thanks to Blinkist for sponsoring this video. Make sure you click that link in the description to get 25% off a Blinkist annual premium subscription and start your 7-day free trial.